Every refund case that comes in raises the same questions. Is the customer genuine, or are they trying to abuse the process? Is this a one-off request, or is it a part of a larger pattern? And when the service rep tries to find answers to these, a simple keyword search fails because the customer's language rarely matches the internal documentation. In this episode, we will fix these problems by using two features. First is segments that lets you group individuals based on behavioral patterns. And the second is hybrid search, which lets you search by meaning and not just the keyword. My name is Aditya. I'm a developer advocate here at Salesforce, and let's get started. Pronto gets different kinds of refund cases. In this case, a refund is because of a missing item. To resolve it, a rep opens the customer's record and issues a gift certificate using a custom action. We created this action using a simple screen flow that asks for the amount and creates a new record in the gift certificate object. Simple, but Pronto has a problem. There is an increase in such refund requests, and clearly the customers are abusing the process. We need to identify and flag these customers before issuing a gift certificate, for which we will use segments. A segment is nothing but a group of individuals meeting a predefined set of criteria. For Pronto, a serial refunder is anyone with at least 3 orders and 2 refund requests in the past 90 days. To create a segment, click New from the Segments tab in Data 360. A standard segment runs on a batch schedule to create a group of individuals. You can use this for most use cases like demographics and serial refunders. A waterfall segment lets you create mutually exclusive tiers like platinum, gold, silver, where a customer can belong to only one tier at a time. A real-time segment is created on real-time data graphs, and this requires an add-on license. A dynamic segment is calculated on the fly at query time rather than being pre-computed. For serial refunders, we will go with the standard segment. We'll give the segment a name and choose unified individual as the object we want to segment on. Then we choose the publish type. Standard publish is the default setting, but rapid publish is specifically for targets like Marketing Cloud that runs more frequently. For our use case, standard publish is good. Then we choose a look back window that essentially defines how far back Data 360 pulls the data from when evaluating the criteria. For serial refunders, we want to look at their behavior over the last 90 days. Someone who has had a refund 2 years ago shouldn't be flagged today. Now we define the segmentation criteria using direct and related attributes. Direct attributes contain fields on the unified individual, including calculated insights. Related attributes lets you filter on connected objects like cases and orders. For our use case, we need at least 2 cases of type refund request. So we add the case object and define the count as at least 2 and filter by the type of refund request. Then we need at least 3 orders. So I define that as well. Hit refresh on the population to preview how many individuals match this criteria. For Pronto, 3 customers meet this criteria today. Behind the scenes, Data 360 creates a segment membership DMO for the object which is being segmented. In this case, unified individual. It stores a mapping between the individuals and the segments that they are a part of. Apart from the UI, you can also work with segments using the Data 360 MCP server, which I've connected to Cloud Code. We have also launched Salesforce skills, which are structured instructions that teach agents how to accomplish tasks using these MCP tools. These skills are auto-installed in Agentforce Vibes, and you can run this command to install it in other coding agents like Cloud Code. Once I run the command, I can see all the skills available to install. For our use case, I see that there is a dedicated skill for segments. Once installed, I can ask a question about the members in serial refunders segment. And notice it invokes the skill and gives me the results. I can use the same skill to create new segments as well. Here is another segment we created for serial refunding households, which is households where multiple members are collectively abusing refunds. This segment is created on the unified household object. And in the conditions, notice there is one important toggle: aggregate values across households. This tells Data 360 to add up the counts across every member in the household. And this traversal happens automatically. You don't need to write any joins or custom logic. Back in Data Explorer, notice there is now a separate segment membership DMO for the household object, which is different from the individual one. Let's now use both these segment membership objects to warn service reps when they try to issue a gift certificate. Here is the existing screen flow for issuing gift certificates. And here is the updated version with serial refunder checks. We query the individual segment membership DMO by passing the unified record ID of this contact and the segment ID of our serial refunder segment. We also get all the households this individual belongs to and query the household segment membership DMO for the presence of this household in the segment. Then a simple decision element that decides whether or not to allow the issuance of a gift certificate. Let's see this in action. Now, when a service rep tries to issue a gift certificate, they are shown a warning if this contact is a part of either segment. Now, let's look at another case where the customer requests a refund because their pizza arrived soggy. Now, we can issue a refund for such requests, but we need to identify why the pizza was soggy in the first place, and if it's a one-off case or is it a broader pattern. To identify the root cause, the service rep searches for soggy pizza using the standard knowledge search component, and 0 results. So they just assume that the delivery person mishandled it or the restaurant didn't pack it correctly, when in fact the actual cause is a hardware problem that is documented in a knowledge article. The entire article doesn't have the word soggy, which is why a simple keyword search has failed. In fact, there are also other resolved cases from different customers with the same issue, meaning that there is a recurring problem, but none of the cases say soggy pizza in the subject line. So a service rep is not able to find these cases or knowledge articles to understand how to resolve their own case. This is a fundamental limitation of keyword search, which matches exact words. The solution is hybrid search, which combines traditional keyword search with semantic search, which searches based on meaning as well. And to be able to perform hybrid search on cases and knowledge articles, we need to create a search index. From the search index tab in Data 360, click New. Let's go with advanced setup to see all the options that we have. Select hybrid search as the type and choose the object that you want to search. In this case, I'll go with knowledge articles. Then select the fields that you want to chunk. Chunking splits a long article into smaller paragraphs so that a search can pinpoint the exact section within a larger article that answers the question. I'll choose article content as the field that has to be chunked. Next, choose the vectorization algorithm. These are embedding models that read each chunk and convert it into a vector, which is a set of numbers that captures what the text means. So soggy, wet, and moisture damaged all end up close together in the vector space, even though they are different words. For text-only knowledge articles, the default model works well. In the next step, you can optionally choose the fields that can be used to filter or narrow down the search results whenever you query for them, like status and so on. We don't need this for our use case. Next, you will choose how do you want to rank the search results. By default, it will be based on the similarity to the question, but you can add more ranking strategies like popularity or recency based on the fields on the knowledge article. We don't need any of this for our use case. Review all your selections. A search index creates two DMOs. One is the chunk DMO with the smaller paragraphs, and the other is the index DMO with the vector embeddings of each chunk. Once a search index is built, you can query it. For this, we use a special SQL function called hybrid search that takes in a couple of parameters. First is the index DMO that contains your vector embeddings. The second is the search term that you want to query. Third is any optional filters that you want to pass. And fourth is the number of search results that you want to return. You can then join these results with the chunk DMO to get the actual text content. Once you run this query with the word soggy, notice in the results that the thermal bag ventilation failure article comes up. And there is a score field that tells us how relevant each search result is. Similarly, I've created one more search index on the case object. And if I query this with the same search term, notice that there are some cases that are shown to be similar to soggy pizza. Instead of showing these results directly to the end user, let's use a prompt template to synthesize everything into one AI generated summary with clear recommended actions, so that with one click, the user gets everything that they need. This is a flex prompt template that summarizes the search results and recommends next steps. To get the search results within the prompt template, we can use an Apex class that runs the queries that we have seen before. To run a SQL query with an Apex, we use the connect-api.query-ANSI SQL method and return the results back to the prompt template. Instead of using an Apex class, you can even create a retriever, which is a no-code version of the SQL query. A retriever is created on a search index, and very similar to a query, you specify filter conditions, fields to return, and the number of results to return. Within your prompt templates, you can either use the Apex class or the retriever. Let me preview the prompt template, and here you can see it gives a nice summary about the pattern, the root cause, and recommended actions both for the customer and the driver. To surface this recommendation in the UI, we can create a screen flow that invokes the prompt template by passing the case ID, and the response can be added to a screen element. This is our hybrid search powered prompt template in action. On the click of a button, a service rep now sees all the insights they need about this case. This is how you activate Data 360 context within your service workflows. What are the use cases that you have solved with Data 360? Let me know in the comments below. And I'll see you in the next episode where we'll see how Data 360 powers Marketing Cloud Next use cases like building dynamic data-driven email campaigns. I'll see you all there.